Money has rules, and the rich follow them like gravity. Break one, and life punishes you instantly. Fact 1. They treat money like a tool, not a trophy. Wealthy people don't worship money. They weaponize it. They don't stare at their bank balance like it's a piece of art in a museum. They look at money the way engineers look at steel: useful, neutral, bendable, scalable. While most people think, how do I protect what I have? The rich ask, how do I deploy what I have so it brings back friends? That's the entire mindset shift. You'll never hear a truly wealthy person brag about a purchase. They brag about a system. They brag about returns, leverage, momentum. They brag about how their money works harder than they do. That's the real flex. The average person buys something shiny to feel successful today. The wealthy buy assets so they don't have to think about tomorrow. And here's the kicker. This mindset isn't genetic. It's built, it's trained, it's earned through endless trial and error. They see money as a silent employee. No emotions, no loyalty, no excuses. If it's sitting still, it's underperforming. If it's multiplying, it's doing its job. The lesson? Stop treating money like a souvenir you're scared to spend. Treat it like a tool designed to build the life you're trying to pretend you already have. Fact 2. They buy time before they buy anything else. Here's the secret most people never grasp. Rich people don't crave luxury. They crave time. Their first instinct with every dollar is, how do I buy back an hour of my life? Meanwhile, the average person spends money trying to look wealthier and ends up with less free time and more monthly payments. Wealthy people eliminate tasks like someone clearing runway debris before takeoff. Laundry, outsourced, accounting, delegated, scheduling, automated. Not because they're lazy, but because they know their attention is the most valuable currency they'll ever own. Every unnecessary chore is a tax on their potential. Every distraction is compound interest working backwards. You'll hear them say things like, why do something manually if a system can do it better? That's not arrogance, it's optimization. They understand that if you spend your days solving $10 problems, you'll never have the bandwidth to touch $10,000 opportunities. And here's the irony. Buying time feels uncomfortable for most people. It feels indulgent. Rich people feel the opposite. They see doing everything yourself as the fast lane to permanent mediocrity. The lesson? Stop trying to save money by wasting minutes. Money returns, time doesn't. Fact 3. They never rely on motivation, only systems. Most people wait for motivation like it's some rare cosmic event. Rich people treat it like a joke. They know motivation is a mood, and moods are useless for building anything that lasts. So instead of asking, how do I feel today? They ask, what system protects me from feeling stupid today? Their entire life is built on automation, routines, triggers, and rules. They don't trust willpower. It's too fragile. They build habits that survive bad days, slow mornings, and mental fog. They don't hope for focus. They engineer it. They don't chase discipline. They remove friction. And the wild part? They're not more talented than you. They're just more prepared for their own laziness. They assume they'll get tired, distracted, annoyed, overwhelmed, so they create systems that keep their goals moving even when their mood is garbage. That's why wealthy people stay consistent for decades while others burn out every January. The lesson: don't wait to feel ready. Build a system that forces progress even when you'd rather disappear into your couch. Fact 4. They treat every dollar like a soldier. Here's the mindset shift that rewires everything. Wealthy people don't see money as something to spend. They see it as something to deploy. Each dollar is a tiny worker. It either brings back reinforcements or it dies on the battlefield. And every time you make a purchase, you're choosing whether that soldier returns with friends or disappears forever. Most people send their dollars to war with no strategy. Fast food here, random subscription there, impulse buy at the mall, tiny financial deaths everywhere. But rich people track their soldiers like generals. They ask, will this dollar come back with 2 more, 10 more, or will it die instantly? That's why they invest aggressively and spend selectively. That's why they hate liabilities and love assets. That's why they evaluate risk like mathematicians and opportunity like hunters. Their wealth isn't luck. It's the compounding army they've built over years. The lesson? Stop executing your dollars. Start training them to return with recruits. Fact 5. They build relationships before they need them. Most people only reach out when they're desperate, when they need a job, a favor, an introduction. Rich people do the opposite. They invest in relationships long before there's anything to gain. They understand that opportunities don't come from Google. They come from people. They treat networking like future-proofing. A coffee today might be $1 million collaboration 5 years from now. A quick conversation might become an investor. A simple introduction might open a door you didn't even know existed. That's why they show up, consistently, even when no one else does. And here's the real secret. They don't network to take. They network to connect. They show genuine curiosity. They make others feel seen. They provide value without keeping score. People remember that. People respond to that. People open doors for that. While everyone else is scrambling for last-minute favors, wealthy people are simply calling someone they've known for years. The lesson: your network is a savings account. Invest early, invest often, and watch opportunity collect interest. Fact 6. They study boring data while everyone else chases excitement. The rich don't rely on vibes. They rely on numbers. Cold, boring, emotionless numbers. While most people make financial decisions based on hype, trends, or whatever their cousin posted on Instagram, wealthy people bury themselves in spreadsheets, cash flow diagrams, and worst-case scenarios. It's not glamorous, it's not sexy, but it's brutally effective. They track their spending, not because they're cheap, but because they want clarity. They study market cycles, not because they're obsessed, but because they want timing. They examine risks with the same intensity engineers use when designing rockets, because one bad assumption can wipe out years of progress. This is why they rarely panic. They've already run simulations in their head a dozen times. When something crashes, they don't scream. They adjust. When something spikes, they don't celebrate. They verify. The average person says, "It feels like a good deal." The rich say, "Show me the numbers." The lesson: boring data creates exciting results, and emotional decisions create financial disasters. Fact 7. They use failure like a cheaper university. Most people treat failure like a dead end. Rich people treat it like tuition. When something collapses, they don't spiral. They study. They dissect the loss like a surgeon, looking for patterns, blind spots, and small errors with big consequences. To them, failure is feedback, not humiliation. You'll hear wealthy people casually say things like, "Yeah, that business died. Here's what it taught me." They don't hide their mistakes. They harvest them. Every misstep becomes a map for the next attempt. Every wrong decision becomes a lesson they never have to pay for twice. Meanwhile, the average person lets one failure freeze them for life. One bad investment, one bad job, one bad idea, and they shut down like the universe is sending them a message. It isn't. It's sending them instructions. Rich people aren't more fearless. They're more practical. They know that every failure reduces the cost of the next success. The lesson: stop fearing mistakes. Start cashing them in. Fact 8. They don't chase trends. They build moats. The wealthy avoid playing popularity roulette. They don't chase whatever everyone else is doing this month. Instead, they build moats, advantages that compound over time and protect them from competition. A moat can be expertise. It can be reputation. It can be a network, a patent, a brand, a skill, a system, anything that makes them hard to replace. Most people hop from idea to idea, trying to catch the next wave. Rich people invest in depth, not noise. They understand that trends make you look smart for 5 minutes. A moat makes you rich for a lifetime. They build long-term advantages, not short-term wins. When everyone else is panicking over the next big thing, they're quietly strengthening the foundation under their feet. Here's their logic: if you can't be replaced easily, you don't have to negotiate desperately. The lesson: stop chasing shiny objects. Build something that outlives the trend that inspired it. Fact 9. They treat energy like a currency. This one shocks people. Wealthy individuals don't just manage their money, they manage their energy like it's an investment portfolio. They know that mental bandwidth is finite, and wasting it on trivial nonsense is the fastest way to stay broke. They avoid chaotic people. They eliminate pointless drama. They reduce decision fatigue. They structure their days to minimize noise. Their routine isn't rigid, it's strategic, because they know that a tired mind makes cheap decisions and a sharp mind prints money. You'll hear them say things like, "This isn't worth my brain cells," and they mean it literally. They protect their focus the same way investors protect capital. They don't allow emotional vampires, pointless arguments, or energy-sucking tasks into their environment. Most people spend their energy like kids spend candy, recklessly, joyfully, and with zero long-term thinking. The rich treat energy like compound interest, preserved, protected, and reinvested wisely. The lesson? Your energy determines your income. Guard it with your life. Fact 10. They ask better questions than everyone else. Most people ask weak survival-level questions like, "How do I afford this?" or "Why is this happening to me?" Wealthy people ask strategic engineering-level questions. What system makes this automatic? Who can solve this better than I can? What am I missing that someone smarter would notice? Their questions don't just seek answers, they seek leverage. They force clarity, expose blind spots, and unlock opportunities. Instead of asking, "Can I do this?" they ask, "What would have to be true for this to work?" That subtle shift is why they see possibilities where others see walls. And here's what's wild. They don't ask questions to feel smart. They ask to destroy assumptions. They're allergic to shallow thinking. They challenge everything, even their own beliefs, because they know the fastest way to fail is to be certain too early. Most people look for comfort. The rich look for truth. The lesson? Your questions determine your direction. Upgrade them. Fact 11. They thrive in long games. Everyone else is too impatient to play. The rich play on timelines that would make average people tap out in week 2. They understand that wealth is built slowly, then suddenly. Most people want results now, so they hop from idea to idea like financial tourists. Wealthy people lock into one direction and treat time like an ally instead of an enemy. They commit for years, sometimes decades. That's why they dominate fields others barely survive in. Most people quit the moment progress gets boring or invisible. The wealthy know invisible progress is usually the most powerful kind, the compound effect kind. And the truth is, they don't have superhuman patience. What they have is clarity. They know exactly where they're going, which makes the wait tolerable, even exciting. While others chase rapid dopamine, they chase slow inevitability. The lesson? The longer your time horizon, the fewer competitors you'll ever have. Fact 12. They build momentum, not motivation. Rich people don't sit around waiting to feel inspired. They create momentum by taking small, repeatable actions that stack like bricks. They know that once momentum kicks in, everything becomes easier. Decisions, habits, discipline, execution. Most people think success requires massive effort. The wealthy know it requires consistent effort. They start tiny. One call, one email, one meeting, one improvement. Then they let those tiny actions snowball until the results look impossible from the outside. Momentum is a force multiplier. It saves energy, builds confidence, and erases resistance. That's why rich people protect it at all costs. They avoid anything that breaks their rhythm: late nights, pointless arguments, emotional chaos, inconsistent routines. They understand this physics-level truth. A body in motion stays in motion unless a broke mindset stops it. The lesson? Don't chase big wins. Chase momentum. Big wins follow momentum automatically. Fact 13. They outsource weakness and double down on strengths. The average person wastes years trying to fix their weaknesses until they become mediocre. Rich people do the opposite. They identify their strengths and amplify them, then outsource everything they're bad at. They understand that mastery creates wealth, while mediocrity creates exhaustion. They don't care if they're terrible at bookkeeping, writing, organization, design, negotiation. They just hire someone who's great. Their ego isn't tied to being good at everything. They only want to be world-class at one thing, because one thing done at a world-class level outperforms 10 things done at an average level. They think like this: if someone can do it 80% as well as I can, I should stop doing it. This frees up their time for high-impact work, the type that generates opportunities, income, and expansion. The lesson? Don't fix all your weaknesses. replace them. Fact 14. They run toward problems while everyone else avoids them. Here's something people misunderstand. Rich individuals aren't lucky. They're problem collectors. They run toward challenges because they know every big problem contains a big payday. Most people avoid problems like they're radioactive. Wealthy people evaluate them like engineers evaluating a prototype. Is this solvable? And what's the payoff if it is? They know this uncomfortable truth. Money flows to whoever solves the hardest problem with the cleanest solution. While average people complain about obstacles, the wealthy study them. While others panic, they strategize. While others look away, they lean in. This is why they end up owning businesses, patents, software, land, assets, because they took on the painful work others avoided. Running toward problems doesn't mean loving discomfort. It means understanding reward mechanics. Solve small problems, earn small money. Solve big problems, earn life-changing money. The lesson? If you want wealth, chase the problems everyone else is too intimidated to touch. Fact 15. They protect their environment like their future depends on it. Wealthy people treat their environment the way a scientist treats a lab. Absolutely nothing enters that space unless it improves results. They know your surroundings shape your habits, your energy, your thinking, and eventually your income. So they obsessively curate their environment, physically, digitally, socially. They remove distractions the way surgeons remove infection. They eliminate clutter, chaos, noise, and useless commitments. They mute group chats. They unfollow people who drain them. They redesign their workspace to make focus effortless. And they aggressively avoid environments where average thinking is the social norm. They know you cannot outperform a space that constantly drags you backward. Your environment is either a strategy or a sabotage. Most people try to change their life while living in a place that reinforces the opposite. The wealthy build their environment first because they know everything else depends on it. The lesson: upgrade your environment and your behavior will rise to match it. Fact 16. They take emotion out of money, completely. To the rich, money is data, leverage, and math, not identity, ego, or self-worth. They don't take financial losses personally. They don't panic when the market dips. They don't celebrate like children when the market spikes. They've trained themselves to remove emotion from money the way engineers remove friction from machines. This emotional neutrality lets them make clean decisions. No fear, no greed, no desperation. Meanwhile, most people buy high because they're excited and sell low because they're terrified. Wealthy individuals do the opposite because they're not reacting to emotion, they're reacting to strategy. They understand volatility is normal, risk is required, and patience is lethal in the long run. They don't make money emotionally, which is exactly why they make it consistently. The lesson: the moment money stops controlling your emotions is the moment you start controlling money. Fact 17. They maintain obsession-level focus on one core skill. Rich people aren't good at everything. They're dangerously good at one thing. One skill that becomes the engine of their income. One talent they refine for years. One ability that creates disproportionate results. While most people dabble, the wealthy specialize. They drill deeper, refine harder, and improve longer than anyone expects. Their focus borders on obsessive because they know mastery is where the real leverage hides. You don't get wealthy by being well-rounded. You get wealthy by being uniquely, undeniably, unignorably excellent at one thing. They sharpen that skill until opportunities chase them. Clients chase them. Money chases them. And once that skill prints income, then, and only then, they expand. The lesson: find your one skill. Build your life around it. Make it unfair for anyone to compete with you. Fact 18. They never believe they've made it, ever. Here's the truth behind every wealthy person you admire. They operate like beginners, even when they're masters. They live in permanent student mode. They constantly update their thinking, question their assumptions, and treat every achievement like a checkpoint, not a final destination. The average person stops learning the moment they feel comfortable. Wealthy people get nervous the moment they feel comfortable. They know the world changes fast, and arrogance is the silent killer of success. They stay adaptable, curious, open, hungry. This mindset keeps them evolving while others stagnate. It keeps them relevant while others fade. It keeps them in motion while others freeze. They don't chase perfection, they chase progress. And that's why their success doesn't collapse when the economy shifts, the market changes, or the world moves forward. The lesson: the moment you think you've made it, your decline has already started. Stay a student. So tell me, which rule are you breaking the hardest right now? Drop it below, and let's see who's brave enough to admit their financial glitch.